Peace, peace. What's going on, everybody? Give people a minute to scroll on there. This was kind of spontaneous. Just got something I need to get off my chest real quick. May not be too long, but it may end up being long. Who knows? Got to vent about some things. Hopefully everybody having a smooth Saturday thus far. What's going on, Brandon? What's going on with it, bro? Got Rally in the building. What's going on with it? Hopefully y'all staying safe out here, staying healthy, staying out the way, staying peaceful, all that good stuff, staying productive. I just want to tackle some misinformation real quick, man. It's kind of spur of the moment, man. With some on my mind, man, I got to let it out. Can't hold this piece of information in, or this rant that I'm about to go on, can't hold it in because it's tearing us up. It's tearing us up. For the life of me, like I can't even understand the logic behind some of the people that follow a lot of this advice that's out here. Like it doesn't even logically make any sense. But before I dive into it, man, I'm gonna give people a chance to scroll on there, man. But it's real out here, man. It's real out here. You got the medical industry is really out here not caring about the health and well-being of the individual, of the people. I mean, some of the advice that's being thrown out here for people, like in regards to like nutrition and things of that nature. Some of the information that's out here on a nutritional basis, man, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's like for the life, I can't even believe some of this stuff is being recommended and suggested, man. Like I can't even believe it when people tell me this. Just as a trainer, I got a lot of clients that tell me what their doctor recommended or suggested, and I cannot believe it. Like you all will not believe some of the stuff that some of the suggestions that these doctors are out here throwing out. And they actually believe some of this advice is like productive and is healthy. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. I understand that doctors are not well versed in nutrition, but man, come on, some of this stuff is just basic common sense. Basic common sense is what we're dealing with. Like that, the fear of carbs has been instilled in the people. People are afraid when you mention carbs, people are liable to have a heart attack. That's how real the fear is. That is how real the fear has become. They have definitely succeeded in making carbs the enemy. You would think carbs are the number one killer of people across the board. You would think the carbs out here killing us at the same rate as the cops. But I'm here to tell you carbs are definitely not the enemy. Carbs are not something to be feared. If anything, carbs should be consumed. Consistently. But they have made them the enemy, though. Give me one little second as I go on this vent here, man. Let me maneuver some links and all that around before I really dive into it. I may ask you all some questions just to see if stuff's just making sense, or am I just overreacting? Let me get these links posted. What's crazy, I'm not even seeing some of the comments. I had to go on YouTube just to see some of these comments. The name of my next book is going to be Inner Mask. And appreciate that, TZ Frank. We finally at 1,000, man. We only going to elevate from here. And my thoughts on Dr. Sebi is I take the best parts from everybody, man. So it's some stuff that Dr. Sebi talks about that I have definitely implemented in my own lifestyle, but I don't follow everything that he taught to a T. I don't really do that with anybody, man. I just take bits and pieces of teachings and I just apply the best parts or what's more suitable to me. I apply that to my lifestyle. But I don't follow everything that Dr. Sebi taught to a T. But I wouldn't knock anybody that does, though. I fool with a lot of what he taught and what he said, what he stood for. But he got parts of his teachings where I disagree with him, just based off of my research. Yeah, but my next book, man, I'm just about done with it, man. I probably got 20 more pages to bang on out, but it's gonna be called Inner Mask. It's gonna be pretty much instructing you on how to stay healthy in the midst of this pandemic, and just in general, just how to make sure the inner environment, your internal system, is clean. Yeah, Dr. Sebi also said you shouldn't consume like broccoli, hybrid vegetables, and things of that nature. Like, I highly disagree with that, along with beans. Like, I eat beans and they are very beneficial. So that's why I tell people, man, you gotta research the researcher. So if Dr. Sebi says something, you gotta research where he got his information from. And then you gotta research opposing arguments to his teachings, and then you reach a conclusion. You weigh all the evidence, you weigh all the research, and then you experiment with your own body and you see what works for you, and you weigh all of that and you roll with whatever works for you, or whatever works best for you. You roll with that. What's going on, Sweet Tea? But I don't follow anything 100%, man. I'm always experimenting. And I recommend each individual do that. Like, you got to experiment. What may work for me may not work for you, like, and vice versa. So it's all relative to the person. But now I just kind of want to dive into what motivated this live stream here. I was talking to a client this morning, and this client informed me that her doctor told her that she was pre-diabetic. All right, so the doctor informed her that she was pre-diabetic. So she, my client, wanted to kind of know or gather some ideas for like healthy snacks. Now, the same doctor that just informed her that she was pre-diabetic recommended that my client, for a snack, consume 6 Oreos and a cup of milk. And if she can't get access to that, then some graham crackers with cheese on them. Those were the recommended snacks for somebody that is pre-diabetic. Those are the healthy snacks that were recommended to my client that just got diagnosed as being pre-diabetic. 6 Oreos and a cup of milk. Where does that? And then on the flip side, my client was also instructed to limit her fruit intake. So they made fruits the villain, the enemy, but we can consume milk and Oreo cookies. That makes absolutely no sense. All the sugar and fat and drugs that are in milk, and we are recommending that people drink milk opposed to eating fruit. This world has went crazy. This world has went crazy. Where does that make any sense? And how is milk safer to consume than a fruit? Please, somebody help me explain that. How are Oreo cookies safer than fruit? Now, it didn't help that she told me also that the doctor that recommended this was obese, overweight herself. So, of course, and these are the people that we trust in regards to their expertise and advice. So this is one of the reasons why this population is in the state that it is in health-wise, because we go to these experts and we trust them. And they give us information and they give us suggestions like that. Limit your fruit intake, but you can consume 6 Oreo cookies and a cup of milk. That's A-okay. That's A-okay. But you're supposed to limit your carbs. You're supposed to get your carbs down to a bare minimum. But you can eat Oreo cookies. You can eat cheese. I mean, my goodness, do we know all the fat that's within the cheese? Do we know how dangerous and addictive cheese actually is? The way it clogs the artery. Or do we just not want to talk about that? Go find me a population of people that are unhealthy simply because they consume too many fruits. And you can even look at this logically. I even asked the question to my client. We all know somebody who is diabetic. We got plenty of people that may be diabetic in our families, or we just may know them personally. Now ask yourself, is the person that's diabetic? I mean, I can probably answer this for you, but the people that you know that are diabetic, did they consume a lot of fruits? Is that the reason why they are diabetic? I can guarantee you it's not. The people that I know that are diabetic, that are pre-diabetic, that had diabetes, they consumed a lot of meat. They consumed a lot of milk. They consumed a lot of cheese. And they consumed a lot of junk foods, cookies, cakes, ice cream, chips, candy. They consumed a lot of that. That is what led to diabetes. That is what led to them becoming diabetic. It wasn't because they ate too many fruits. Now you can just assess the people that you know with diabetes, and I guarantee you, you will come across the same realization. These people are not becoming diabetic because they consume too many fruits. That is not what's happening. I guarantee you the diabetic across the board, they have similar diets. And it is not overly filled with fruits. I can guarantee that to a T. It is filled with a bunch of processed foods, meat, milk, and cheese. I can 100% guarantee that. Man, the cream and the Oreos, pure sugar, pure oil, like true indeed. And then just look at milk, man. Then when you add that up with milk, come on, man. Like milk, the sugar and fat in milk is crazy. If you wanted to lose weight, man, you would probably drop, if you consume milk on a regular basis, you would probably drop 10 pounds just by eliminating milk. That is how fattening and full of sugar like milk is. But I'm challenging somebody to go find me a person that has become diabetic and consumed a nice amount of fruit and nothing else that was like processed and things of that nature. So go find me somebody that ate plant-based and consumed a lot of fruit, and they are diabetic and their health is declining. Meanwhile, on the other hand, compare that to the amount of people that are diabetic that consume exactly what I mentioned: the meat, the cheese, the milk, and the junk food. And then they drink the sodas and things of that nature. And coffee, because we know they lace the coffee up with sugar. So these are all the culprits. And somehow we didn't group fruits in the same category of all the foods that I have named, excluding dairy and meat, because for some reason we don't think dairy and meat is a problem in regards to diabetes, when that has been proven to be false. The overconsumption of protein has been linked to diabetes. So we can go ahead and mark that myth off. And this the thing of it. When people go on these high protein, low carb diets, like what's going on, Thunder Scorpion? The thing of it is, when you go on that type of diet, yes, you will lose weight. You pretty much gonna lose weight when you go on any type of diet. But the thing of it is, of course you're gonna hit a wall. Most of it is water weight, but you're gonna hit a wall, and then for the most part, like 95% of the time, people end up putting that weight right back on. It is not sustainable long term to limit your carbs. Your body is going to naturally crave them. That's why when you see people on the keto diet, they're irritable, mood swings, depressed, like they just in a bad mood, they lack energy. That is one of the main reasons. Your body thrives off the natural sugar. That's why you start to crave it heavily when you go on these keto diets, man. Your body is looking for fuel, and that is the first option, is the glycogen, the sugar. If you limit it, now your body is going into that fat. And you don't even really have to eat less to lose the weight, man. Just eat more of what you are supposed to be eating. You eat more plant, like you can eat more of the good foods for you, because it's not going to put weight on you. That's going to keep that metabolism going, and you can still shed the weight. So you don't necessarily even have to restrict yourself in regards to losing the weight. Oh man, Tank, that's where they got they got it. That's where they got us. They got us thinking that we need milk for healthy bones. I'm gonna drop one jewel on you first and foremost. All right. So in order for calcium to even do its job, you need magnesium. So if you drink all the milk in the world, but you're not supplying your body with the proper amount of magnesium, your bones will suffer anyway. Your best sources of magnesium: dark leafy greens, man. And then you can eat your nuts and seeds. But dark leafy greens, beans like kidney beans, black beans, chickpeas, and your almonds, your cashews, your all that, man, your pecans. Those are all good sources, or great sources of magnesium, and legumes like lentils. And those same foods have adequate amounts of calcium. Some of the more fragile people I know that have the weakest bones, they love milk. The crazy thing about milk and calcium is that the more milk you actually drink, the more your body, like the more you are actually losing calcium. That's kind of like the paradox, because milk is so acidic, and one of the natural buffers or neutralizers for acid in the body is calcium. So in order for your body to neutralize the acid via the milk, it has to strip calcium from your bones in order to neutralize the acidic effect of the milk. So that is actually making your bones weaker. So you drinking milk to get stronger bones is actually making your bones weaker. And that's the type of stuff that they don't teach. And that's the type of information that they don't want out here, because we know how powerful the dairy industry is. But there is no need for milk in regards to you acquiring and maintaining strong bones. Your main focus should be making sure you're getting the magnesium in. And then with the magnesium, you are already getting the calcium, because most of those foods contain adequate amounts of calcium. But I want people to stop running from fruits. Like that's that's my main issue right now, man. If you can look me in my face, in my eyes, and believe that eating cheese sticks and things of that nature is more healthy for you than eating an apple or eating some like strawberries, blueberries, grapes, etc., then we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. Like cheese, one of the worst things you can consume. All of it is terrible for you, man. And it's being promoted, it's being pushed, and it's being accepted. And I got a major beef with it. Nah, bro, you can still eat the cereal. You just substitute the milk. You got unsweetened almond milk. You got hemp milk. You got oat milk. We got non-dairy milk out here. That's way better for you. Less fattening, less sugar. Yeah, you don't see any other species believing that in order for them to survive, they need another species' milk. We are the only ones that believe this. And for the most part, especially within the Black community, a good 70 to 85% of us are lactose intolerant in general. Like we not able to even digest it. We're not even able to digest cow's milk after a certain age, and that's a large percentage of the population. Exactly. Cows don't just only the calves, and we supposed to really operate that same way. Once we get of age, I think the last time I checked, the age was like 3. Like we supposed to not even be fooling with it. You're not supposed to be fooling with it in general. Once, especially when you get to that certain age. So the misinformation out here is real. And I feel like I got to continue to balance it out, man. Like, I mean, it's 2020 and some of the stuff that's being thrown out here, I can't really believe it. I mean, I can, but then at the same time, it's like, man, it don't even make sense. And a lot of this information, most of this information is coming from sources that people trust. Like we wondering why a virus is spreading rapidly, so they say. But hypothetically speaking, let's just say this virus was spreading as rapidly as they are saying. Like one of the main reasons why we even be spreading like that in the first place is because we're not taking care of our health. Again, like I've said consistently, the healthiest populations on the planet, they have high carb diets. They follow high carb regimens. I mean, every last one of them. When you study the healthiest populations on this planet around the globe, you will see that the main staple of their lifestyle is carbs, whether it be sweet potatoes, whether it be rice, whether it be fruits, it will be carbs. You will not find many of these healthy populations diets revolving around high amounts of protein. You will not find it. And I challenge you to look for it because you will not find it. What's going on with it, Leon? You will not find it. I've done my studying, as they call them, the blue zones. Their regimens revolve around carbs. Yeah, Africans, they eat a lot of rice, and then even the Asians, like the Asians. But the crazy thing about it is the Asians, they come here, feed us the fried rice that they don't eat. Like we eat the fried rice and they don't eat it. They supply it to us. But yeah, rice is big. Rice is big in regards to a lot of the healthy populations. They eat a lot of rice. Some of them. And another, it's like superfood, is sweet potatoes. A lot of them eat a lot of sweet potatoes or some form of potato. But you're going to find rice and you're going to find like sweet potatoes. If you study in all the healthy populations, you're going to find rice and sweet potatoes in the mix somewhere. Or like corn or beans. You're going to find those type of foods somewhere in the mix. But you're not about to find a bunch of cheese, a bunch of cow's milk, and a bunch of meat. Like you're just not going to find it. That's not how that's going. That's not how that works. But here in the Western world, for some reason, we think we got to limit all of what's good for us and consume nothing but what's bad for us, plus some veggies, but we okay. So like we're going to eat the meat, we're going to eat the cheese, we're going to drink the milk, eat some Oreos. Then we just going to put aside the veggies with the meat so we good. Like Western medicine, if that's what you want to call it, is just stubborn. It's stubborn. We got a lot of the recipes in regards to how to heal the body and stay healthy amongst all the other cultures in other countries. They have recipes that all we got to do is look to them and be like, all right, this is what they doing. Instead, we take the westernized way and we almost force it upon other countries. We take stuff like McDonald's and we make it go global. We put McDonald's over there overseas and we get these other cultures hooked on the Western way of living and they become sicker. It was some populations out here just like us before we encountered them. It was a lot of illnesses that we had never seen before. There are some populations that before they got introduced to the Western way of living, it probably wasn't even words in their vocabulary for some of the conditions that they are now facing. Cheeseburgers and pizzas, like, my goodness. And according to some people, as long as the pizza is a cheese pizza, it might be all right for some people. That's just how crazy some of the advice that's out here is. Yeah, if it's processed, definitely. And that's where I feel like the advice should be. The advice shouldn't be limit your carbs. It should be limit your processed foods. Limit your refined carbs. Like we need to specify. Don't just say limit carbs. That's too broad. We really need to specify what it is that needs to be limited. Let people know that they need to limit their protein intake as well. We don't need to consume high amounts of protein at every freaking meal. That is damaging your kidneys. All that protein is acidic. There is nothing alkaline about animal protein. So the more of that you consume, the more acidic the body is. So you definitely don't need animal protein or meat at every meal. But again, like I said, there's stuff that they don't want to touch on. But you can study the healthiest populations, and a lot of them, for the most part, meat wasn't a main staple. They may have used meat for like flavoring, or they may have ate it once every few days, maybe once a day, something along those lines, but they wasn't consuming meat at the rate that we do here. It definitely wasn't the main staple. It definitely wasn't a necessity. And it definitely wasn't the reason why, or isn't the reason why their health is the way that it is. So we got to correct that, man. Like you need carbs in your life. You need the complex carbs in your life. You need the sweet potatoes. You need the fruits. You need the veggies. I don't even know what people think veggies are. Those are carbs. Like you need the complex carbs, the unrefined carbs. You need those. It's not killing you. Give your body what it naturally needs and eat plenty of it. And you will see your health skyrocket. Nope, don't fool with whey protein either. Don't do it. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, I think I know what you're talking about. I forgot this specific name of the country, but I think I know what you're talking about. I remember seeing that. It's a few populations that have been done like that. They got introduced to the Western way of living, and I mean, they pretty much almost wiped out the small village, the village of people, because they introduced the Western way of living to them. Like that's how destructive the lifestyle is, man. It can wipe out villages. It can wipe out populations, man. But I think I seen what you are referring to. But whey protein, don't do it. You do not need that. Again, we overemphasize protein. We don't need as much protein as we think, first and foremost. And then the amount that we need is we easily get that through what we eat. And there's already plenty of studies out here that let you know that consuming extra amounts of protein is really not benefiting you. It's not really taking your health to that next level. It's not doing any of the things that we think that it's doing for us. So you can get all your protein requirements via what you eat. And your body can only process so much protein in a day. So like overly consuming protein is pointless because you're going to pretty much, most of it is going to be eliminated via the urine. Because the body is only able to process X amount of grams of it a day. So we tend to overconsume that protein when we really don't need to do it. If anything can be limited or kind of cut in half, it's our consumption of protein. And all the protein shakes, man, just bad for your kidneys at the end of the day. Yeah, the standard American diet is sad. It's the sad diet. That's how it is. Very sad. And seafood, of course I'm vegan, so I don't necessarily too much care for seafood. If you can eliminate it, eliminate it. Seafood, that's one of the more contaminated foods right there, man. The seafood is very contaminated. You got to be real cautious when you are consuming seafood because for the most part, you are talking about a lot of contamination. So in regards to seafood, that is probably your more contaminated food source. So I'm not really a seafood fan. A lot of people think when they go on pescatarian, it's a lot of myths out here in regards to seafood or fish being necessary for proper brain development and brain function and things of that nature. That's a myth. I get my omega-3s. I get enough of those with my hemp seeds. I'm good to roll. And then even the hemp milk. So seafood, you don't need it. Like get rid of all of that. It's unnecessary, man. If it's not doing you any good, drop it. And all that food, man, that's acidic, man. It's tearing the body up. It's not benefiting the body. I don't care what they are out here telling you. I don't care what they out here fabricating. Yeah, hemp milk, I mean, it's not the best tasting milk. But like I said, if you're looking for some omega-3, then you can fool with it. I recommend throwing it in a smoothie because, I mean, trying to drink it by itself, you probably won't be able to complete it. But you put it in a smoothie, then you'll be good to roll. But it's a lot of nutritional value in hemp milk and the hemp seeds. So I definitely recommend getting on that hemp milk if you can. Yeah, some people can't handle the almond milk. I like the oat milk myself. Oat milk is my favorite non-dairy milk. I'm a fan of the oat milk. I don't know if you've had that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that oat milk, man. That's my favorite milk. And I just started getting on it. Yeah, the oat milk, you might fool with the oat milk over the almond milk. You may. I don't know. People are different. Taste buds are wired a little differently. But yeah, you could try that oat milk or the hemp milk. But like I said, the hemp milk, you're probably not gonna like the taste of that on its own. You have to mix that with some other stuff. But those are my go-tos in regards to the non-dairy milk. Yeah, check that out. Let me know how you liking it. Yeah, go and scoop it up, man. Go on experiment with it. See how your taste buds react and respond to it. So with that being said, man, I just wanted to get that quick rant out the way. Doctors out here supplying a lot of misinformation in regards to carbs. They're encouraging people to limit the fruit intake, pretty much eliminate it, but then encouraging people on the flip side to eat things like Oreo cookies, drink milk, eat cheese sticks, and all that good stuff. Eat a bunch of bacon, eat a bunch of eggs, but you can't consume your fruits. Got to watch your carbs because they're the enemy. No, they're not. Eat plenty of fruit. You will be fine. Eat plenty of beans. You will be fine. Eat plenty of greens. You will be fine. Eat plenty of nuts and seeds. You will be fine. What you need to limit is the protein intake, the animal protein intake, and you need to limit or eliminate your dairy intake along with the eggs. That's what you really need to be focusing on limiting. Once you do that, you not only will you watch the weight drop, but you will watch your health elevate. Only thing that's pretty much going to happen when you go on these keto diets, these high protein diets, you may watch the weight drop initially, but your health will not elevate. Your mood will become worse, attitude worse, energy levels low, all of that will decline. So is it worth it just to see a few pounds come off initially and then for you to hit a wall and put them back on? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Some people maintain eating that type of way for a long period of time. Hence, they may see results for a longer period of time, opposed to the average person that cannot handle going without carbs for that long. So I challenge people that are embracing that keto lifestyle. I challenge you to study the healthiest populations around the globe and then come back to me. Come back to me. Once you study the healthiest populations around the globe, let's discuss on whether or not carbs are really the enemy. Whether or not avoiding these carbs is really in your best interest. Then I want you to analyze people in your family, people that you know that are diabetic, and just analyze the way that they were eating before they became diabetic. And I guarantee you will find common denominators that don't revolve around fruit. Guarantee it. So with that being said, like I said, the little quick rant is over. I ain't want to spend too much time on her. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So I'm going to get on up out of here. I'm going to do me some more research, sit back and chill out. Hopefully y'all have a peaceful rest of the Saturday. Y'all stay productive and positive out here. Peace.